Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on my program. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you are joining me from any part of the world, I thank you very much for your contributions on this channel. Please kindly subscribe if you have not subscribed, and also click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. In this channel, I bring information to your doorstep. I bring news from all channels, from every angle. Things that have to do about the world, things that have to do about Africa, more especially Nigeria. I bring it to your doorstep, some information that you ignore, some information that you cannot be able to come across. I look for them, I bring it to your doorstep for you to see. Every video you see on this channel is for educational purpose, to keep you up and get you aware of what is happening in the contraction called Nigeria, more especially. I bring the information to your doorstep. They are not lies. Most of the videos you're going to watch here are videos that are coming from the conventional media, and some of us sometimes are lazy to get into it. Some of us sometimes are too busy to be able to lay our hand on this. That is why I bring the videos to your doorstep. Watch from beginning to the end. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes, so that you can be educated and know what is going on. Let us watch together. At the end, you can go to the comment section and put down your comment. Give your opinion. Say it the way you feel it. Nobody's going to come against you. It's a free world, and this is the social media where people say it and set the record straight exactly the way it is without being controlled. Do that on the comment section. Let us watch the video together as it comes. Thank you.
The United Kingdom government has declared that he has no preferred presidential candidate amongst those contesting to replace President Muhammadu Buhari in the next year's elections. Speaking with journalists yesterday in Abuja, after a closed-door meeting with members of the National Working Committee (NWC) of the APC led by Senator Abdullahi Adamu, the British High Commissioner Katrina Lang said that the UK government was committed to free and fair elections in the country. She said the meeting with the national executive of the APC was one of the meetings she has been having with political party presidential candidates and their party chairmen ahead of the 2023 elections. A lot to talk about this. The UK says we're supporting nobody.
Yes, and very good that they've come out to say that following the closed-door meeting with the National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress, in attendance were obviously some of their members there and the chairman, national chairman of the party, Abdullahi Adamu. It's very interesting that when it comes to elections in Nigeria, the UK traditionally in recent times have come out with statements around how they hope to support the electoral process. Now, when it comes to foreign electoral intervention, you could have it in two ways. It could be partisan, where countries, outside countries would, or foreigners would choose to go with a particular, stand with a particular political party in a foreign country, or, as in the case of the UK in this conversation, have said they're going with a process foreign intervention, whereby they are willing to support the electoral process in that country. Now, earlier in November, the British High Commissioner had come out to also talk about what they had done in support of Nigeria's electoral process and what they hope to do in the coming days, months, weeks, really, leading to the February and March electoral processes. First off is that they were quite vocal in saying that they supported the Electoral Act in terms of funding through legal advisory. They've talked about how they've upskilled some civil society organizations, Yaga being one of them, and young people as well. They've also talked about the interventions through visa sanctions for electoral violators, so people who are part of violence during elections, and this still holds for the February and March 2023 elections. If you're found caught in electoral violence, then they would sanction you and you would not be given visa to access their country. And bearing in mind the close trade and otherwise relation that Nigerians enjoy with the UK, this has proven, previously to be quite effective. And so to have her come out following this meeting to also talk about the fact that they talked about security of lives and properties during election is quite powerful. And the hope now going forward is that they would have such conversations beyond the APC and with other political parties, especially those who have presidential candidates, and even in particular the front runners, the NNPP, Labour Party, and of course the PDP.
Dr. Batu?
Okay, I mean, the High Commissioner of the UK to Nigeria meeting with the executive of the APC, National Executive of the All Progressives Congress, and stating clearly that the UK does not have a preferred candidate in the matter. Well, yes, that should be noted because that's a principle in international law. Article 2, subsection 4 of the UN Charter, stresses the principle of non-intervention in the domestic affairs of a sovereign state, and that, it even prohibits any form of intervention that may be coercive, as we saw in the Nicaragua case or the Corfu Channel case, as it is talked about. So the principle in international law, either under the UN Charter or in the Vienna Convention, 1961, on diplomatic relations, is that the diplomat in the receiving state must maintain complete neutrality. But is this the truth? In reality, there have been many cases when diplomats try to intervene directly in the affairs of the receiving state. During the June 12, 1993 struggle, there were persons who objected, for example, to the U.S. ambassador at the time getting directly involved and taking sides in a conflict in Nigeria. So, that's something that is often referred to. That when, I think it was Mr. Walter Carrington, get involved. But diplomats are supposed to maintain complete neutrality, even if there are exceptions in this regard. However, this does not preclude the principle, this is beyond sovereignty now, of states, that have diplomatic relations supporting each other. And you could see that in this regard, the British High Commission was encouraging, the Nigerian state to ensure security, to also ensure that the election is free and fair, and that people are given the opportunity to make a free choice. Now, all of that is, diplomacy, as a way of encouraging, the Nigerian state and authorities. However, the other leg of it is that the international standard now is democracy. You see that the Western countries, since about the wave of democratization that began in the 90s, the international community, through also the instrumentality of the United Nations, and, if you come down to Africa, the African Union, have always, promoted democracy from the point of view of human rights, of open government, open society. And those were the things that, you could see as the subtext of, the High Commissioner's statement when he met with the APC. The third part of it, of course, is that we live in an international community, which, as I said yesterday, is governed by rules, by standards, by protocols. Many of these haven't been enshrined in a number of United Nations, protocols and principles, and states have a responsibility in that regard. And the subtle reminder here is that everybody that is involved in the democratic process in Nigeria must realize that the international community is watching. The international community is interested. That, as Katrina Lang pointed out, that Nigeria does well, that Nigeria continues to grow. So even if we say there's the principle of sovereignty and non-interference, no country is an island. And that is why the international community is involved in the crisis between Russia and Ukraine, as the international community will be involved, in any other issues that comes up, either from the point of view of moral situation, whether it is Zimbabwe or it is Uganda or it is, any other country of the world. So, I find what she said very encouraging. To say, yes, we will not interfere. Yes, of course. They cannot do so openly in any way under international law.
I mean, you don't expect Katrina Lang to say anything apart from what she said. Diplomatic speak, they'll not interfere, and definitely she would say that. And when you look at it critically, as stated, Dr. Bati, based on the foreign conventions, I mean, you can't come and say you want to take a side in a local election like this. But what you can do, as foreign diplomatic nations, that have affiliations with us can do, is to be able to sort of enforce the fact that the process must be upheld in its full sanctity and across board. And in fact, and that's why some arguments are even rife as regards June 12th and Walter Carrington, that his involvement was after the annulment and the fact that democracy was being threatened and America had to respond, in in consonance with their own democratic values and all of that. Anyway, some people will argue against that, but that was the caveat there as regards to water Carrington case. But I'm not surprised that this is an ambassador is saying this. Let's even stretch it one foot further. If you remember the last elections we have, I mean, 2015 elections between President Muhammadu Buhari and Goodluck Jonathan, it got very heated, neck and neck, that the Secretary of State of America, then John Kerry, had to fly in for a meeting with both top contenders in that election, because there were, harassment and things like that and violence. And that election was really heated. Let's not forget the Orubebe case, because it's as if we have selective amnesia too much in this country, and how the counting process was almost invalidated when Orubebe raised that alarm, and everybody was on tenterhook. The only thing that, doused tensions down then was because President Goodluck Jonathan made a call. And once that announcement was made that he had made a call and he had conceded, I still have goosebumps talking about that moment now. Then the country was safe from any disaster that will have happened. So the foreign community would just always advise. But also internally, what we should do is that we should make our processes better. How can we do it? Yeah, the British government, through their development agencies, the EU will give some money to civil society groups like Yaga Africa and everything, as regards, advocacy for the election laws and things like that, and they'll do all of that. But we too must make our processes better internally. How do we do that? Everybody should sign the peace accord. Yes, it's not constitutionally binding on anybody, but it's not fair when we can't even ordinarily sign a peace accord as regards making our elections better and peaceful. And we must also get to a point that we stop the West, and by growing up, we stop the West from babysitting us and looking after us. How many times do you have observers go to their own elections? Why is that? It's us they must always look after and babysit every time. So we must introspect. But she's, knock on wood, spot on by saying that the British government will not interfere. And I don't expect any government of any nation to be able to interfere in our elections. But also we should take learnings and do things better ourselves, because we have not done things better over the years.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have been educated with this video. I hope you have learned something from the video you just watched. Please go to the comment section and put down your comments. Whatever you think about the video you have watched, or anything you have learned that you want to share together, go to the comment section and keep yourself busy. It's a free place where people share their opinion. And please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time a video comes out. And also, share the video to your family and friends. Share it to all platforms so that people can get aware of what is happening in the world, mainly in the contraption called Nigeria. We have to keep people on their toe, keep people informed on what is going on. That is exactly what we are doing. Every video you are watching in this channel is for the purpose of education and nothing more. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, bye-bye. See you again.